Lives Matter women of faith, and I stand in solidarity with the people in Charlottesville and with all of you here who have heavy hearts about what is taking place on yesterday. What I will say is, as a black woman, I want you all to know that we deal with issues like this and have been since I was a little girl. For decades, we have dealt with every form of white supremacy that you could possibly imagine. And what we've done, many of us have vowed to risk our lives and to show people that we will stand up against any sort of bigotry, hatred, racism, any sort of groups that think that they can stand up and say or do anything to us. We will stand together with people who are very concerned about their neighbors, about their brothers, all these marginalized groups. Many of us, our color matters to people, where we get ostracized just because of the color of our skin. People don't know anything about us, but our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, they've had to deal with this sort of racism for years. So I am now standing here with a heavy heart because families have been impacted by someone being bold enough to come forward and to say that they are white supremacists. Not only did they do that, but they did it with the intention to harm people. And anytime you get that bold, you have to recognize the forces that are greater that have impacted them. I'm blaming the Trump administration, and I'm blaming administrations before them. Right now, we have to understand that until we get an administrative office like that out of the White House, there are going to be many more instances that we have to stand like this. It's sad to say, but the truth is, right now, they are perpetuating many of these acts that take place. All this systemic oppression that black people, that Muslims, that immigrants have had to deal with all this time is being further perpetuated by a product like our president. Right now, I just want to stand and say that I'm sorry that we had to come together under these circumstances, but we will not stand silently. We will stand in solidarity next to our brothers and sisters and show that it does not matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter what your religious or racial background is. Right now, we have to unify. And I say right now, power to the people. Power to the people. God bless.
Thank you so much, LaShawn. Next, we will have with us Rabbi Todd Zinn from the Chicago Sinai Congregation. Rabbi, if you can make your way up here.
When they say the Jews will not replace us, they're talking about me. When they say the Jews will not replace us, they are talking about me. When they go low,
we go high.
I bring from my faith, from the Torah, from the Hebrew Bible, the teaching that each of us is created in the image of God. It says, B'Tselem Elohim, the image of God, and it does not differentiate based on our faith, based on our religion, based on the color of our skin or where we were born. We are each B'Tselem Elohim. We are each created in the image of God. That one sentence, it teaches us three separate things. It teaches us where we came from. Created on the sixth day, we have a special obligation on us as humanity. It teaches us who we are. Created in the image of God, we embody all of God's greatest characteristics of love and of mercy and of justice. And it tells us where we are going. That we can join together for greater good. That we can create the image of God not only in each of us as individuals, but in our society. And as we do that, we remember Heather, and in Hebrew we'd say, Zichronam Livracha, may her memory be for a blessing. And how do we make her memory for a blessing? How do we make all of these people lost their memories for a blessing? The Psalms, they teach us, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, that our world is built on love. that our world is built on grace. Olam chesed yibaneh. We will build that world together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for sharing those words with us. Next, we will have Josh Fox from Indivisible Chicago, one of our supporting organizations for this rally, and our supporters in everything that we do here in Chicago. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Josh.
Thanks, everybody. You want to step in a little bit, get closer to somebody, make a new friend? Often when I talk publicly about Indivisible, I say the day after the election I had two questions. One, how did this happen? And two, what am I going to do about it? There's a third question that was in my mind that night and that I don't usually talk about, but I want to talk about today. And that question is, what are we going to tell our kids in the morning? And I woke up the next morning, and thank God my partner was there. And she called the kids into the kitchen and she said, look, a terrible thing has happened. The important thing to remember is that there are people who are going to be very afraid, they're going to be very threatened, and it's our job to be there for them and to stand up for them and to let them know that we've got their back. And that's what we're doing today. Look, what happened this weekend is terrible. It obviously should be condemned. But I gotta say, that's the easy part. That is the easy part. The hard part is acknowledging that we have a system that does not work. It is not working for everybody. In fact, it is working for very few. And if you are a part of the system, you have some responsibility for that. You want to change the system, you've got to change yourself. The great folk singer and folk philosopher Utah Phillips tells a story about learning how to be a pacifist. And he talks about how his teacher told him, you have to give up guns, you have to give up knives, you have to give up fists. And he said, but that's not all. As a white man in America, you were born armed to the teeth with an arsenal of weapons of privilege. Of white privilege, of male privilege, of economic privilege. And if you truly want to be a pacifist, if you truly want to fight for justice, you need to interrogate that privilege every moment of every day of your life. And that is my challenge to everybody here today. Look, there's a lot of talk right now about tolerance. I don't care about tolerance, okay? You tolerate the little yippy dog that lives next door to your house. That's tolerant. You don't tolerate human beings. Can you imagine if your coworkers came to you one day and said, guess what? We all talked in the office and we decided we tolerate you. That's not right. That's not enough. It's not even close. So I want to close by just saying one final thing. And it's really got a twin audience. One audience is these people that are marching, these white supremacists who live, I can't even imagine the poverty, the intellectual and spiritual poverty of their lives and what they are missing out on. I feel pity. I gotta be honest. I'm very angry at them, but I also feel pity for them. To everybody whose skin is different than mine, everybody who talks different than me, everybody who loves different than me, whose gender is different from me, whose abilities are different from me. I was going to say, thank you for being in my world. But I don't want to say that. What I want to say to them is, thank you for letting me be in your world. Thank you.